Spencer Rattler, you are the New Orleans Saints QB2. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Trace Giroaurd. We have been live for the past 4 hours breaking down the Saints game, going into a pregame show, and then, of course, having fun throughout all 4 quarters. Unfortunately for New Orleans, they end the preseason with a loss, but I'm here to tell you, as a fan, it doesn't really feel like a loss, honestly. And maybe that's an unpopular opinion. Maybe that's something that other fans disagree with, but I saw enough from players like Spencer Rattler and like Bub Means and like A.T. Perry. I saw enough from some of these guys to have some faith in this offense and to believe that this team can get it done depending on the offensive line, depending on who the quarterback play is, depending on the play calling. But what I saw from the offense in week 3 of the preseason was much better, in my opinion, than what I saw in week 1. Now, the first quarter was miserable. It was like pulling teeth. But the second Spencer Rattler hit the field, he started lighting it up. Now, Will Levis did get the start for the Titans, but we saw a lot of action from Malik Willis and Mason Rudolph as well. I think the Saints defense did a good job of handling both of those quarterbacks at times, but Spencer Rattler, I mean, he had a freaking day, ladies and gentlemen. 7 of 13, 105 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and he had a quarterback rating of over 106. This man was phenomenal today. He was getting it done in the air. He was getting it done on the ground. He was extending plays. He was buying more time, extending drives, and we saw a lot of things from Spencer Rattler that you're not going to get with Derek Carr as the quarterback. And I understand Carr is not a mobile guy, and he's not going to buy extra time and whatnot, but Rattler showed me enough for me to be excited and for me to continue to believe in the agenda. But Jake Haener, I want to talk about him because I don't think he was bad. I just think that Rattler did everything he needed to solidify himself as the QB2. I am not the head coach. I am not in the locker rooms, so I can't sit here and say that it is a fact Spencer Rattler won the QB2 battle. But based off of what I've seen in the preseason, I saw Spencer Rattler get a game-winning drive and put that together. I saw Rattler come in week 3 and have multiple scoring drives. I saw Jake Haener come in at times and struggle and look uncomfortable, but I also saw him play some good football. Today was not that the case for Jake Haener. Sure, he did a good job moving around the pocket and not taking sacks, but he also had a really ugly strip sack that Josiah Ziram, the 7th-round rookie offensive tackle, jumped on, tried to return, and didn't really matter. But to me, the decision's been made. Spencer Rattler's the QB2. And I want you guys to let me know in the comment section. Type H for Haener, type R for Rattler. In our live show, we had a poll going, and we had about 600 votes in favor of Spencer Rattler, which is about 90% of the live poll that we had going on during the game. And in our live chat, I'm seeing a lot of R's for Spencer Rattler from people like Jordan, people like Elliot, Gordon, Queen Courtney, Divine Eternity, and Troy. They're all typing their Rattlers, and I'm with you. I really liked what I saw from Spencer Rattler, so I think he did enough to win the QB2 battle. Now, Jacob Kibodi. Let's talk about the Louisiana kid because the native, the Baton Rouge native, he had a hell of a good day. 12 carries for 60 yards, or 59 yards. You rounded up to 60. He had 2 touchdowns. One of them, it was a beautiful run. He just managed to get around the corner and punch it in. The other one, he ran through an MFer's face like he was Marshawn Lynch. Just absolutely bulldozed the Titans defense. I think Jacob Kibodi actually had a much better game than Jordan Mims. Now, with Jordan Mims, he is a player who I think will end up making the roster as the RB3 because Kendre Miller is dealing with an injury, and I could see the Saints going the route of put Kendre Miller on the short-term IR with a designation to return. Jordan Mims is your running back 3. But Jacob Kibodi made a really, really good case for himself. The former Ragin' Cajun was really fun to watch, and it felt like every time he had the ball in his hands, he was making a play of some form or fashion. Now, I do want to talk about the offensive line here. Trevor Penning, I actually think he had a couple really good blocks. There was a pancake at the very beginning of the game. He had an end-around jet sweep from Bub Means where he actually had a good block, And Bub Means just kind of ran inside on it. So I don't know if it was a bad read by Bub or if it was, Penning just didn't finish the play. It was kind of hard to see that. I'd have to go back and rewatch the tape and rewatch that play. But from what I saw from the offensive line, it was better. It has been improved. These were not the starting unit. We did get to see Lucas Patrick in there. We get to see Talise Fuaga in the mix. And I still think that he has a lot of things to prove, and I think he's going to be a good offensive tackle. And I'm going to get into some more thoughts here in a second. But I got to give a special shout-out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. I was not able to win some money, but I have a piece of advice for you, Saints fans. If you download the Prize Picks app today and you use our promo code CLNS, you will get an $100 deposit match from Prize Picks. And what I suggest you do is you take the projections that I choose and you just do the opposite, because the past 2 weeks, I am 0 for 3 last week, and I am 0 for 3 this week. Actually, got to double check with A.T. Perry. I'm 1 for 3. Okay, so not quite 0 for 6. I'm 1 for... Yeah. Oh, yeah, Chestnut was 1 yard away from us having a pretty close, projection here. But point being, these were my projections I went with. I had a lot of fun keeping track of this the entire game. It just makes game day a lot more exciting, and it's an easy way for you to win some money. So if you want to get an $100 deposit match, meaning you put in $100, Prize Pin gives you $100 of lettuce to throw around wherever you want, you can download the Prize Picks app today. Use our promo code CLNS whenever they ask for a promo code. $100 deposit match, so be sure to use Prize Picks today. Download the Prize Picks app today. All that information is in the comment section and description of this video. Prize Picks, run your game. So let's dive into the receiving game today. So A.T. Perry almost had a hell of a game. He actually had a great game in general, 2 catches for 67 yards. I would say that's pretty good. He almost had a couple other really, really nice plays. A couple deep shots that he almost was able to reel in. A couple passes broken up by the Titans defense, so credit to them. But A.T. Perry had a great day. Equanimeous St. Brown, I'll tell you one thing right now. I know that Equanimeous St. Brown is not Michael Thomas, and I can tell you right now, it upset me to see a man wearing number 13 score a touchdown. But when I saw Equanimeous St. Brown run the route that he did, and I saw Spencer Rattler absolutely lay up a dot, drop it in the breadbasket over the shoulder. I mean, it was beautiful. That is what you can't script it better than that. And I think that Equanimeous St. Brown, he can be a valuable member of the receiving corps because I think that he can also block. I think he can also be a good receiver for New Orleans in different situations because he's a bigger body. Now, for the Saints offense in total, 315 yards. They averaged just under 5 yards per play, which I think is pretty solid. 222 yards through the air. They were 25 of 43 as a total for both Haener and Rattler. The rushing game, 4.2 yards per carry. I want to see that number stay above 4. Like, call me crazy, but if we can get 4+ yards per carry, that's a win on the ground. The Saints, we know they're going to be grounded, and they're going to try and run the football quite a bit. So Clint Kubiak, hopefully the Saints offense can continue to develop and grow and improve, especially in the run game. I do like that there was no turnovers. He had a little bit of a scare there because, like I said earlier, Haener fumbled the ball on a strip sack. Josiah Zerum is able to jump on it and recover it. The New Orleans Saints did win the time of possession with over 30 minutes holding the ball, so you got to love that. Saints offense was pretty active today. I would have liked to see more points, but hey, in the preseason, 27, not too shabby. Really quick reminder, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel because we're trying to become the largest YouTube channel that covers the New Orleans Saints. We're already the fastest growing. We have almost 30,000 right now. I need less than 250 to get to 30K. So if you haven't already, hit the sub button for free content, live shows all throughout the regular season, and just the best, most passionate, most authentic and real Saints videos you will ever get. Really quick, I also want to talk about Matt Hayball and Lou Hedley as the kicker/punter situation. First things first, with Blake Groupie, he was out there, and he took all the kicks today. Charlie Smyth had 0 kicks. He didn't kick a field goal. He didn't kick an extra point. He didn't do any kickoffs. It was just Blake Grupe. He had a long today, Grupe, of 54, which was exceptional. Last year, I believe his long was 55 yards. So I'm excited to see more from Grupe. To be honest, the fact that Charlie Smyth didn't even get an opportunity to kick today, to me, might say Blake Grupe is leading the battle for the punters, or for the kickers. Now, for punting, Matt Hayball, he had 2 attempts for 97 yards. One of those was a 50-yard punt. Lou Hedley had 2 punts for 90 yards and a long of 47. Now, with Hedley, both of the 2 punts that he sent off were very returnable. And that's kind of the redeeming quality for Lou Hedley within this Saints special teams unit, is that his kicks are hard to return. But Matt Hayball did a much better job of flipping the field, and he also even downed the ball inside the 20, which Hedley was good at last year, but he didn't do that today. So when it comes to the punter and the kicker, I would not be surprised if you have Blake Grupe and Matt Hayball as your specialists. I do think that Lou Hedley, I think he's an interesting cat. I really like all of his tattoos. I'm rooting for him to succeed. But I also could see the Saints going with the younger player who has the boot, who can flip the field. I don't want to take a knock on Lou Hedley whatsoever because I'm rooting for him. I really do find him an interesting player, and I'm a big fan of his just as an individual. Like, I think he's a really cool story. Just it's kind of tough to justify bringing him back if Matt Hayball is playing better. So who was the best player of the game today? I want you to shout him out in the comment section. For me, I got to either go Jacob Kibodi or Spencer Rattler. Both of those players massively impactful on the field today. I'm excited to see the rest of the offseason, see how the see how the roster ends up shaking out and seeing how things progress and who makes the roster. Do we trade anybody away? Do we cut anybody? What's going on here? It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot to pay attention to, but I want you to get down in the comment section and let me know who was the best player from the game today. Really quick reminder, if you haven't already, I was tweeting out highlights all throughout the game. The best highlight of the day. I know in the comment section, Sam, there's going to be people saying, you didn't mention Samson Nacua. Well, that's because I'm mentioning him now. Everyone who stuck around the video gets a little bit of a gift, if you will, or a little teaser, an appetizer. So I'm just going to say it. Samson Nacua, based on that kick, almost kick 6, for the record, we were 9 feet away from an 108-yard kick 6 as time expired in the first half. Samson Nacua fields the kick 8 yards-ish deep in the end zone. He goes to the left. He goes all the way to the right. He cuts back to the middle, goes back right, and he all the way down to the field. Knocked out at the 3-yard line. In retrospect, you get that touchdown, you win the ball game. Not able to get there, not able to put up 6. Doesn't matter, in my opinion. That was the most electric play in the preseason, possibly from this year. So that was a lot of fun. I think Samson Nacua, just based on that one play, he earned some brownie points, in my opinion. And I think he could be maybe a low-end wide receiver if there's injuries. I definitely think he should at least be on the practice squad. So I got to just say shout out to Samson Nacua for the highlight of the preseason. Shout out to the Saints for putting up some good fight. And shout out to all of you for tuning in and watching today's video. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.